data privacy, you can basically say everybody needs to act on that issue, because your personal information and sensitive information about you is very important. So let's talk about uh, personal informations: your email address, your home, your date of birth, your phone number, your email addresses, things. Similarly, for sensitive informations, you can take as your health record, your social security number, your shopping habits, what your friends like, your chat history, your uh, phone calls history, etc. So if that kind of data is leaked or used by a company um, without your knowledge, then it can be very harmful to you. I have a question to everybody. Do you want to share your data or not? Basically, nobody wants to share their data to general public. But what if somebody could access your data without your knowledge? That's what happened with the health data and Google. In the Google project Nightingale, Google can access your health data without your knowledge. So do you think that is the main concern? I think basically yes, that is the main concern, because what if somebody get access to your data? He can do anything, he can use it for his own benefit, and if he can use it to manipulate you, to harass you, to get you involved in something you don't want to. That's what can be done with health data. With the help of your health data, people can target like medical companies, like, hey, do you want to use this medicine for your disease if that is incurable? So do you think it is good to share your data, or do you think the companies should have access to your data? I have attached a short video to show you that there is news about the data.
In Privacy Watch, a new report suggests Google is secretly collecting the personal health records of millions of Americans. According to the Wall Street Journal, the tech company is working with a leading nonprofit health system that has facilities in 21 states.
As first reported in the Wall Street Journal, Ascension is sharing information with Google, a health system that includes over 2,600 hospitals and healthcare centers in 21 states. In the program called Project Nightingale, Ascension is reportedly providing patient names and dates of birth, as well as lab results, hospitalizations, and diagnoses to Google.
I think most of the people have heard about Yahoo data breach. Yahoo could not figure out their data breach for 2 years, and until that time of period, the data breach has billions of users account data. So that means the hacker had access to millions of accounts information. And we can think of like people share sensitive information through email, so that means that data could destroy a company or a person. So it should be dealt with seriousness, because if you don't know, like, your account had been hacked, then you could not take effect on it. So it's the responsibility of Yahoo to provide the information that, hey, your data has been hacked, and to do that you need laws.
How did Yahoo fail to recognize that all 3 billion of its user accounts had been compromised And why did it take more than 3 years to discover and to disclose the breach?
Yahoo did not know of the intrusion. In 2013, we learned of the intrusion by files that were presented to us in November of 2016.
Trump campaign spent millions of dollars in the 2016 election, but they used the data analysis of Cambridge Analytica to get the upper hand in the election. And that is possible because Cambridge used millions of Facebook users' data to get certain forecasts about the people needs, people like. So that's where they can target the specific people in the campaign and to get the upper hand in the Trump election. I have attached a short video about the Cambridge Data Analytica.
How can American consumers trust folks like your company to be caretakers of their most personal and identifiable information?
The CEO of one of the internet's most dominant companies began with an apology.
We didn't take a broad enough view of our responsibility, and that was a big mistake. And it was my mistake, and I'm sorry. I started Facebook, I run it, and I'm responsible for what happens here.
This 1 week after Facebook revealed up to 87 million users' personal information was improperly accessed by Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm hired by the Trump campaign in 2016. Cambridge Analytica then used that data to direct Trump campaign content toward individual users. Facebook admits it knew about that kind of data harvesting for at least 2 years.
Let's talk about the data privacy solution. Actually, data privacy solution is a very difficult task, but with collective effort of people as well as government, we can deal with the issue. Let's talk about the personal solution of how can you protect your data. While using internet, like browsing Google or using your phone, don't give access to locations, camera, microphone, photos, videos, etc. And for governmental solution, I think government should act and pass laws which protect the users' data, same as European government has implemented their data protection rule, and same as California has implemented the California Act to protect their users. From all over the world, the government should act and pass the laws which can protect their users' data and give them access to their data.
The GDPR, or General Data Protection Regulation, is a new law that lets EU residents have more control over their personal data. It lets them request all the data that a company has collected on them. It also lets them ask a company to delete all that data. And it requires companies to tell EU residents within 72 hours of a data breach that affects.
This year, residents got that when legislators passed the California Consumer Privacy Act. The legislation says consumers can request from certain larger businesses to know how their data is being used and ask those businesses to delete it or ask that it not be sold. Rohn calls it a landmark piece of legislation, especially in terms of the steps consumers can take to protect themselves.
Well, now, rather than saying freeze your credit or take some remedial steps to try not to be low-hanging fruit, we can say, look, why don't you go to that business, find out what information they have on you, and then take that control back.